Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So lately I've been wanting to do this series where I talk about topics that's on my mind 24/7 and that keeps me from sleeping. So let's start this series where we talk about those stuffs that bother us. Actually, these are really interesting stuff. So grab your coffee, grab your matcha and sit down with me and let's talk. So today, let's talk about manifestation. So basically, I'll start with what is manifestation. Basically, what manifestation is, from my point of view, is attracting slash getting whatever you want. Sounds easy and fun, isn't it? But this goes deeper than that, and it is really interesting and it is really fun when you master these things, but it goes deeper than that. So let's start from there. First of all, when you getting into manifestation, there is one universal law that you need to master, or at least you need to get to know, you need to understand before pursuing through into manifestation. So this law is called the law of assumption, or in some places, in some contexts, people call it law of attraction as well. So what is law of assumption? What is law of attraction? Basically, law of assumption means whatever you assume, either good or bad, either positive or negative, is gonna come true. This law, either you believe it or not, either you are happy about it or not, it's gonna happen regardless. This is a universal law that's gonna attract into your life regardless you believe it or not. So that's the fun point and most interesting part. This law is 50% good and 50% bad. For people who are always positive and optimistic, this is like 100% win situation for them. But for people who are pessimistic and negative and lacking all the time, this is going to be very bad for them, because they're going to keep attracting what their mind believes, which is lacking. So let's get two examples. So let's see, there are two people, one is A and one is B. So A is all the time in a positive mindset. As an example, let's say that this A doesn't have a job, but in his mindset, he's really positive and keep thinking like he's gonna attract a job. He's gonna make a lot of money. Even when he's applying to jobs, when he's talking to other people, he doesn't go like say, "Oh my God, I don't have this job. I don't have a job." Blah blah blah. But he goes like, "I'm looking for a job and I'm getting a job. I'm gonna get a good job." That's what he's saying. So eventually in the future, he's gonna attract the best job that in his like income level that he's looking for without any circumstance. That's the law of assumption for the good person. And let's now talk about the person B, who is always targeting on or thinking about the negative stuffs in their life. So let's see, this B has a job, unlike A, but he keeps thinking like, "Oh, this money is not enough. This is not good. This is not gonna work. I'm not making enough money." Let's say he's making like what, $5,000 a month. That's in Australia, it's like a pretty good amount. So you can survive with $5,000. So even if he's making like $5,000 from his work, he's still thinking like, "Oh, this is not enough. This is not gonna work. This is not gonna do anything." So regardless he's making that much money, his money that he's earning and getting into his bank account is gonna dissolve away. Like, this lacking mindset is gonna attract him lacking circumstances. As an example, he might get a fine, he might get scammed, he might lose all of his money. But the difference, A is when A doesn't have a thing, but A is focusing on the good things that A can get, as an example, a job and making more money. But the B is focusing more, even when he's making good money, he's focusing more on not having things. So A is going to attract the thing that his mind always works on, that his mind always targets on, while the B is the same. So it's the same law, attracting the same things, but what your mind believes. So this is basically the law of assumption or law of attraction. Whoever is gonna master this law is gonna win their life according to my point of view. Manifestation gets more interesting because to manifest things, there are certain tools that you can use. One of the main things that I followed that worked for me is living as if you already have it. As an example, when I was back in Sri Lanka, when I was like 16, I've always wanted to live in a high-rise apartment in a city with a crazy good view. I know it's like one of the craziest thing. And when I just came to Australia, I used to live far away. Literally when I came to Australia, so it was basically like 3 years ago. I used to live in Epping. It's like 1 hour and 30-minute ride to the city by train. So I used to live there, and I would look at these apartments, and I'm like, oh my god, when I'm gonna live in these things. And at the same time, because I've been practicing law of assumption and law of attraction, the deeper voice in my mind would come up and say, no, you can do this, you're gonna live in one of those apartments in the future. So I kept working, I kept doing all the background work. So now I'm living in one of those dreams that I've always, like, if I go and tell my 16-year-old self, hey, you are living in a high-rise apartment now, he's gonna scream. So that's it about manifesting. So let's talk about the tools that we can use to manifest things. One of my favorite things, one of the first things that I got into manifestation is subliminals. So there's something called subliminals, which is basically you're listening to an audio that has embedded affirmations in it, where your conscious mind, so there are two parts for your mind, one is conscious mind and one is subconscious mind. As an example, the conscious mind is like the tip of an iceberg, while everything under the sea is the subconscious mind. So there's this subconscious mind as well as the conscious mind. So these subliminals, so as I said before, there are embedded affirmations that speed up and repeated continuously your normal, like your conscious mind cannot process. So as an example, when you're listening to it, you just hear like a, what do you call it, like a rain or like a white noise, while your subconscious mind is getting all of that, all of those messages that's surpassing your conscious mind. And this is gonna slowly build up. So your mind is gonna keep listening to this, and it's gonna slowly build up and bringing these affirmations into life. Funniest thing, or the most interesting thing about subliminals, is that using subliminals you can manifest physical changes as well. Physical changes as in the changes as a facial features, body features, stuff like that as well. That's really interesting. But when you guys, just ignore my bed hair, okay? So the most interesting, when we're talking about subliminals, there are like a couple of laws that you have to follow. Regardless you believe it or not, subliminals are not like the law of assumption. So for a subliminal to work, you have to believe in it. As an example, let's say I'm listening to a subliminal about losing weight. So if you're not believing, like if you're thinking like, this is not gonna work, and you keep listening to this subliminal about losing weight, you're never gonna make that thing into reality. You're never gonna lose weight from that subliminal. Basically, subliminals are a little hard to work with, because if you keep thinking like, oh, this is not gonna work, your subconscious mind is gonna build up a barrier that those affirmations cannot come into real life. So subliminals is one of the easiest things to attract things into your life, and at the same time subliminals are a little bit challenging, because you have to first make up your mind and start believing those things. Otherwise it's not going to work. So basically, if you're new to subliminals, if you want to find good subliminals, there's plenty on YouTube. But the thing is, you have to find a good subliminal maker. So I listen to subliminals, and there are a couple of there are a couple of good subliminal creators out there, and I'll tell you some that I love, like, that I really really love. If you want to listen to a subliminal, go on YouTube and type in Moza Morph, MOZAMORPH. She has subliminals from a lot of topics, and she's like she's a creator that keeps uploading like every week, kind of a situation. So, and she has a lot of topics, especially for both men and women, and all like unisex subliminals. So you can find like the topics that you want. Like there are like basic common topics like attracting wealth, attracting a partner, attracting your soulmate kind of situation. There's a lot of subliminals like that. Mosomorph is one, and there's one called Estella, I think. Estella, and I don't remember. There's another one that I love. It was I want it and I got it. That's something like the name. I want it, I got it. And her subliminals is like basically based on like the physical appearances and stuff. That's so good. So how I listen to subliminals is that I go to YouTube, type in subliminals, and then I download the subliminals in the 320 kbps, something like that, 320. So like in the highest quality. If you can download it in the wave quality, that's good as well. And then using, I think there's a web, there's a, what is it? Something. There's a web, not a web, there's an app. It's like a music app that I used to I'll show it somewhere here. There's a music app that I used to loop this subliminal. So I download it, I upload it to that app, and then I loop it for, so it's approximately going to be like an hour. So I'm listening to one subliminal for like an hour. Basically now, when I was in Sri Lanka, I used to listen to subliminals all the time, but now I don't have time for that. So what I'm gonna do, I find like the calm versions of subliminals, because like there's like white noise and rain sounds. So I download it and I loop it up for like an hour, and then I listen to it throughout my sleep. So I try to get like at least 8 hours of sleep. So like every night I listen to like 8 subliminals. So the thing with subliminals, you have to keep listening to it for it to get results. So I'll tell you how I got into subliminals. So I'm into hair care stuff. So there was this girl, there's this YouTube channel that I was watching, and she was just talking about this audio that you listen to and your hair grows. So I was like back in the day, I was struggling to grow hair. So I went into that channel and said, and like, oh, this is something interesting. Maybe I should start listening to it. And the first channel that I discovered was, the name was Beauty Crystallized. And the thing, I don't know, it was a placebo effect or whatever. So I listened to this subliminal overnight, and one subliminal overnight, it was like a weight loss subliminal. And I literally got like a vein in my arm. I was like, what? I didn't even do any workout. I didn't do any diet. And I had a vein popping up in my arm. And I was like, whoa. Then that's how I got into manifestation. That's how I like dug deep and found out about law of assumption and all of that shit. And now let's talk about more advanced and time-consuming top stuff when it comes to manifestation. One of my favorite things to do is visualization. And there's one thing before that I have to tell you. There's something called affirmations. So basically, as an example, saying that I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. Keep repeating that. It works for a lot of people, but I don't know, I don't get that feeling. So the main thing about manifestation is like, you have to feel that. You have to have that vibration. You have to feel like, oh, I am a millionaire, like that. But the thing is, when I'm doing affirmations, I don't feel that. So I keep myself out of the affirmations, but I use affirmations in another way. My favorite tool for manifestation is visualizing. So basically, I get a diary or a book or whatever you can write in. I get a pen, and then I start writing down myself. Let's say what I want to attract. Like, let's say I'm in like a, so I was talking about this apartment. Let's talk about apartment. So I'm writing as if I'm in this apartment. How, like, as an example, it's 8 a.m. in the morning. So I'm waking up in my dream apartment, in my huge cloudy soft bed. And then when I open the door and I go to the corridor, the balcony, it's so gloomy and so beautiful. It feels so cold, and I'm obsessed, and I love this new apartment. I love to be in this balcony. I love to experience this chilling wind touching my skin, just like that. Like explaining and writing down things vividly as if I'm living in that moment. What happens to me when I'm doing that, I choose a time that I don't get any distractions to do the visualization part. So when I do the visualization, my mind goes into kind of like a trance state that I literally have to tap myself back into the reality. I start literally living in that moment. That's what helped me in getting whatever I want. So as an example, when I was describing that's exactly how I write it. So there's no rules, there's nothing. Do what makes you feel like you're living in that moment. I would go in, like, as an example, if you want to manifest a car, like a manifest a vehicle or something, so you would go and you would write. So I went to the dealership to check this car, this nice red Toyota RAV4. I don't know much about cars. So let's talk about a Porsche. So this bright red Ferrari. Okay, Ferrari. This bright red Ferrari. So the salesman opened the door for me to do a test drive. So I sat in these leather seats. The new smell of leather seats went into my nose, and oh my god, I was obsessed. Sorry, I'm not good about cars. So just like that, whatever you want, whatever you want to achieve, whatever you want to dream of, whatever you want to have, just write it down like that, and it's gonna keep, like, you're gonna keep in that moment. You're gonna attract all of that energy, and that energy is gonna manifest into your real life. The thing is, the most interesting thing, the main thing that makes this everything easier for you is your brain doesn't know what's real and what's not real. So take full advantage of it. So be like, if your brain doesn't know that you're experiencing something, like, let's say as an example, so I'm living in this apartment and I'm just experiencing, like, having this wind and all of that, like this wind touching my skin, this massive wave, the city lights, the buildings, all of that things, and my brain doesn't know that I am just imagining things. My brain doesn't know if it's real or not, and that fact, the brain doesn't know this, is going to manifest these things into real life. But the thing, you have to be consistent and you have to be continuously doing these things. Just you do this one day and you leave it like that, it's not going to do anything for you. You have to keep doing that. And the most important thing, what I believe, when you keep doing this, there's this thing that you have to do the back work. You have to do the shadow work. As an example, if you want to get a car, and if you are just sitting in your bed and watching TikToks or YouTube videos, it's not going to do anything for you. Okay, you have to do the shadow work. You have to work. You have to make money. You have to save. You have to do all of that things. But what I believe, what happened to me, when I'm visualizing, when I'm doing all of that things, the shadow work part that I have to do in order to get these things come into my life eventually. So as an example, what I'm trying to say is, universe puts me in those circumstances that I have to do. So these circumstances are the shadow work that I have to finish, that I have to do in order to get into my dream. So what I'm telling is, like, just imagine, like, you're trying to go into a high level as an example, like a high ground, and you have to take steps. So you know what's up there. You've literally experiencing it, and universe literally put those steps in front of you for you to take so that you can go there. That's how I see this. So that's what happened to me. So when I visualize, when I journal, when I listen to subliminals, I feel like universe puts me in those circumstances. Universe puts those opportunities into my footsteps so that I can do those things. As an example, universe would put me in a job that I can perform well, that I can earn a lot of money, that I can save in order to get into that apartment or into that car. So you have to do your shadow work. If you do all of that visualization part, all of that journaling, all of that subliminal in your head, and when universe presents you those opportunities, the shadow work part that you have to perform, that within your range you have to finish to get to that point. And if you're not doing it, and you're not gonna get anything. That's the main thing about manifestation. It's not all about the mindset. It is all about the mindset, but it's not just limited to your mindset. You have to do the physical work. You have to put your things into action for you to get that work. As an example, let's say that I want to do this business that's gonna become a huge shot, but if I'm not doing anything, if I'm not doing the marketing part, if I'm not coming up with a product, if I'm not developing a product, if I'm not developing my ideas, and if I'm not putting everything into existence, what am I doing? How am I gonna make that big business? You can't. So for all of that to happen, you have to do the shadow work. You have to work on yourself. Actually, when you do this and when you keep attracting things, life gets so interesting. And as at the same time, manifestation, you can manifest everything. But when you manifest everything, just focus only on manifesting good things that's good for you and that's good for others. You know, there are people in this world that would like to manifest destruction to other people. If you turn with anger, if you turn with jealousy, if you even turn with those negative feelings, it's going to attract to you. What I firmly believe, what I trust, is that whatever you put into manifest, it's going to come back to you. If you put manifestation, if you put love into universe, you're going to get love like 10 folds back, 10 times back. But the same way, if you put anger, if you put the feelings of destruction, jealousy, all of that shit into universe, you're gonna get that back like 10 times more. So always be comfortable, like always be confident in what you believe. Always ask yourself, if I manifest this, because you would manifest it, you would do the hard work, you would manifest it. So ask yourself, if I manifest this, is it good for me? And is it good for other people? Is it good for everybody else? Is it good for my family? Is it good for my loved ones? Is it good for my friends? If it's not 100% yes, then it's a no. Always believe that. So that's how I got into manifesting. And there are things that you have to be comfortable in manifesting in certain topics. As an example, I'll tell you this. So let's say you wanna manifest a specific person, and you are a person in a higher vibrational level. So you are here, and the person that you wanna manifest, let's say, so here's A and here's B. So A wants to manifest B. The thing is, when you want to manifest something in a lower level, but your energy level, your vibration is in a higher state, what's easier for universe, do you think? You think this person in the lower level, is it easier for the universe to bring him back to your level, or you back to him? So think about it. So like when you try to attract somebody in a lower level, lower vibrational level than you, universe is going to bring you down, bring your energy level down, bring your vibration down to match that, so that universe can answer your manifestation, universe can answer your prayer, so that you two meet. So always be careful. Like, this is something that I talk about all the time when I talk about manifestation. People try to manifest a person. So people try to manifest a person. People believe that this specific person is their soulmate, that's the one, and they try to manifest it. And if just do your research, just try to think, what does he do? Does he have a job? Does he make money? Is he looking good? Is he taking care of himself? How is he treating other people? And when you answer all these questions, like, does he have a job? Yes or no? Is he making good money? Yes or no? Like, just count those yeses. And if the yeses are good, there's a lot of yeses in it, and you can specifically know, you will obviously know this is a good person and he's in a higher level. So you don't have to worry about it. But just imagine, if he's not treating his parents well, if he's not doing things properly, if he doesn't even have a job, if he's not making money, what are you trying to manifest? Like, just because a person looks better, have a good body, have a good face, doesn't mean that's a good person for you. So like, there's a saying that I want to say, but I don't want to say it here. If so it says, sister, if he's no, sister, just because he's good for your peak doesn't mean he's good for your soul. So always keep that in mind. And this is another important thing that I forgot to talk about. I should have talked about this in the beginning of the video. So whole manifestation thing, whole attracting thing, it works mostly on you being grateful. You know, let's say as an example, universe give you something and you're being grateful for it. Universe feels like giving you more. That's a fact. That's a fact. So let's say you want to attract a higher type. Let's say you are working as a manager, but you want to become a senior manager. And if you're not happy, and if you're not happy, if you're not content with your current position, and if you're continuously complaining like, oh my god, I don't want to do this, I'm tired of this, blah blah blah, and if you're not happy with it, you can't go to your higher state. First of all, ground yourself in the current position that you have. Be grateful for what you have, be grateful for what you are doing, and be grateful for people around you, and be comfortable in the state. And once you reach that, oh, I'm happy to be here state, I'm grateful to be here state, universe is gonna take you out of there and put you in the higher state. That's a fact. Unless and until you're not comfortable in your current state, you're not gonna go up. So that's a fact. Keep that in your mind, and always, all the time, be grateful for everything. Be grateful for every little thing in your life. Be grateful, be grateful for being alive. Be grateful when you wake up. Say oh, I'm so grateful to be alive. Be grateful for the air that you're breathing, the food that you are eating, the clean clothes that you're wearing, the clean water that you're drinking. You know, the same time that you are existing in this world, in the other corner, there's a person who doesn't have all of these luxuries. I would call that luxuries, because compared to what you have and what the other people don't have, you are in a luxury. Just be grateful for that clean food that you ate. Just be grateful for all of that thing. Be grateful for your loved ones. Be grateful for universe giving all of these things for you, like all of these things to you. And be grateful for the water, be grateful for the air, be grateful for the clothes that you're wearing. Because one day, if you lose all of these things, you will crave those things back. So be comfortable in where you are. Be grateful to where you are right now, then you can rise up to the higher level. Okay, now let's talk about another tool that I love when it comes to manifestation. This is basically not like a tool for manifestation, but this is a really good mental health habit that you can do for manifestation, and that is journaling. So what I believe that happened to me when I started journaling, my consciousness improved like crazy. I can literally go from the time that I woke up, like let's say I'm at 10 p.m. on the day, but I woke up at 8, and at 10 p.m. I can go back and rewind all the emotions that I felt, all the feelings that I felt, all the thoughts that I felt in my mind because of journaling. That's one thing that I believe. Like by the end of the day, if I can write all of the feelings, all of the emotions, everything that I felt throughout the day, I believe that's as a win-win. So basically, journaling brought me to that. So I would, in the first day, like let's say this is my first day of journaling, I would struggle. I might be able to rewind like an hour back. So just like start from the lowest step. Try to rewind like at 10 p.m. Try to remind what you felt at 9:45. So from 9:45 to 10, what you felt, what you were going through. So just like that, slowly build it up. So when you're doing that, like the practice will make you really, really conscious in what you're doing. So 9:45, you felt this, you felt anger, you felt hungry, you did this, you did that. So okay, 9:45 to 10 is cut. The next day do 9:30 to 10. So slowly what happens, you're gonna build because of this practice that you're doing every day, unconsciously you're gonna become more conscious. Your brain is like, okay, tonight at 10 I have to write down what I felt. I have to I have to focus on what I felt throughout the day. So I should be more conscious of what I'm feeling right now. Your mind is going to be like that. So, and doing because of that, because of the journaling, because of the practice that you're doing, and because of the revising that you do at the end of the day, your mind is more conscious what you're feeling, what you are thinking. So that's going to ultimately help in manifestation, because whenever you feel angry, whenever you feel a negative thought, negative feeling, your mind is going to think like, okay, I am feeling a negative thought right now, and also I'll talk about this in another video. But whenever you're feeling a negative feeling, just feel that feeling. Don't ever suppress that feeling and jump over to another. Don't ever do that. Just feel. If you're feeling anger, feel it. Okay, ask yourself, why am I feeling anger? What am I feeling anger towards for? And what triggered me to feel anger? And what triggered me to feel angry? And then go through it. And in like 50 seconds max, you're not going to feel angry anymore, because you literally surrendered that feeling. I'll talk about surrendering feelings in another video, but so basically, this consciousness that you have in all the feelings, in all the thoughts, in all the elements that going through your mind, is going to bring you to a state you are consciously. So in the beginning, you are consciously in 100% state of positive. Every time you're going to think about positive things, because like, let's say 90% of the time, that 50 seconds that you thought was a negative feeling, but you literally conquered that feeling. Nothing like, it's you, nobody in this world, unless like you are in like enlightenment, you achieved enlightenment or something, you can always feel 100% positive. Even I can't do that. There are things that I feel down. There are days that I feel down. There are days that I don't want to get out of my bed. But most of the time, if you're conscious, if you're thinking, okay, now I'm feeling jealous. Why am I feeling jealous for? What triggered me? Those kind of situations gonna bring you closer to your manifestations. Because as an example, let's say, so you're thinking about getting your dream car, and you're thinking like, okay, maybe you're getting a feeling like, okay, I can't do this. I'm not, like, let's say, so A is not rich enough to get a car. And then A asks himself, why am I feeling this? What triggered me to feel this? And how can I conquer this? So basically, within that 1 minute, 2 minutes, let's say 5 minutes, you're gonna feel the feeling, you're gonna find out the root of the feeling, and you're gonna find the root of the feeling, and you're gonna find the solution to that feeling. And the next time you get that feeling, you don't feel it anymore. You don't feel like guilty anymore. So that's what I'm saying. Like, journaling, start journaling 15 minutes, 30 minutes, like that. Build up your entire day, and throughout the entire day you will be so conscious what you're feeling. And because you have very less amount of negative feelings, and so much, like, let's say 90% of good, positive, better feelings throughout the day, and because of that, you're gonna attract, you're gonna manifest, you're only gonna attract positive, good things. The person who always thinks about love, but the person who always thinks about loving other people, only attract love. So same with the other person. Like, if there's a person who always thinks about angry thoughts, who always thinks about hurting other people, they're gonna get hurt. Their insides are rotten, they're gonna get hurt. So always, like, start journaling. And because of journaling, it's gonna be a practice that you do to improve your consciousness, and hence improving consciousness, you're gonna manifest, you're gonna attract easily than ever, because you know what's going in your mind. You've literally conquered it. This is kind of a meditation. If you can literally recall what you felt throughout the day, if you felt anger, if you felt jealous, if you felt good, if you felt happy, if you felt content, then what else do you need? You knew what's going in your mind. Like, most of us, we don't know what's going through our mind. We just act out of our raw instincts, and that's not a good thing. But if you can literally know what's going in your mind and what's gonna happen next, that's like the most peaceful thing that can ever happen to a human. So start journaling, and just start pouring your daily emotions into papers, and even you have track record of what happened yesterday, what you couldn't do. you got 70 marks yesterday and you read it, you know what's going on now, and you improved it, you have 75 now. Just like that, you can improve to 100%. And when you improve to 100% and you're feeling the feelings, you are feeling the good feelings, you're feeling happy about all those, and you have higher vibration, you're going to attract, you're going to manifest whatever you want, be it a lover, be it money, be it a vehicle, be it a house, whatever you want, and you're going to attract it. So I just told you guys the basic and the most important secret. So this is like the foundation of manifestation. So if you master the law of assumption, law of attraction, and if you're being grateful for everything that universe gives you, and if you are conscious in what's going in your mind, and you can follow these tools that I gave you, subliminals, scripting, visualization, and then what do you call it, the journaling. So if you are experiencing all of that raw energy, raw emotions, by living in that specific moment, living in the moment of your future self, living in the moment what you wanted to attract in your life, you are going to attract whatever you want. And always when you manifest, when you attract something, always just think, is it good for myself and is it good for others? If only if start attracting things. And always, even if you turn with love, even if you talk with love, and just see how things change around you and how things change for you, and only for your better, only for you to become better, wealthier, healthier, more beautiful, and more lovable. So if you have any other thing that you want to talk with me, you want me to talk about, just comment down below. And if you have any questions related to manifestation, just let me know and we'll talk more about that. And from today onwards, I'll be doing a series like this where the things that happen in my mind, the things that going in my mind 24/7 that keeps me from sleeping, because these things are so interesting. These things are so interesting to talk about. And if you don't have somebody to talk about these things, just like me, honestly speaking, except for my mom, I don't have anybody to talk about these things. And people would think like, oh, he's crazy. But I don't care about others' opinions. These things keep me sane. So if you want anything like this, and if you enjoy this video, if you found something useful for yourself, just give me a subscribe and give me a like, and let your friends know as well. And if you want me to talk about something else with my knowledge range that I would speak about, just let me know in the comments as well. Okay guys, see you all in another video.